Hi, welcome to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program, the Target Individual Experience. So it's been a while since I did a video or have done a video, and the reason being is because I have been observing a couple of things in my targeting and how they switch up tactics. Uh, Being that the last few videos that I've done, I think were very good in exposing what it is that they're doing. So they have become more subtle, they have become more underhanded, and they have particularly used one person. When I say one person, I don't just mean that it's just one person used to target me, but they have particularly used one person who have been the uh, focus of them getting that person to target me. Okay, and that is the mother of my two youngest kids, Pam. And they have been using her in a way that they haven't done before. Okay, plus, uh, since it's been a while since I've done a video, the kids was on vacation um, 2 weeks ago, and so they were off for a whole week. So I didn't do a video last week, and that week, last week, and the beginning of this week, I said, okay, I got to get to do a video. I got to, you know, again, explain and show what it is that they're doing. So, like I said, so they've been particularly using Pam in ways they haven't done before. More aggressive, but it's more subtle aggressive. Um, Using the uh, again the reward and punishment, um, heavily sending me subliminal message through her of being quiet, because they again don't want to be held accountable for what they're doing. They want to keep this they want to keep me from speaking about it, and it's something that again they will always continue to do. So even if I don't do a video for a week, 2 weeks, a month, my targeting is continuously. It hasn't stopped. Even today, when I went to pick up my daughter from school, there was a police officer. You know, he was talking to the other officer in the police car, but he had his back turned to me. And the school safety officers gave him a signal. Okay, one of the school officers was a woman. She tapped her nose. Again, I'm gonna do the action just for reference to show people what it is that they do. If you are a TI, then don't watch this part, okay? Or don't watch the video. Like I said, until you develop uh, your mental strength to where if you do see or watch my video and see me do hand signals, you will know that I'm not trying to target you. I'm just trying to display to show other people what it is that they do. Okay, and I know majority of you targets out there are being targeted the same way. We've all been conditioned the same way. Okay, and we all have been given the same triggers and anchors. Okay, so we may all interpret it differently, but it's the same triggers and anchors. So as I was saying, so the school safety officers gave the police, the cop, the male cop, a signal. Right? She tapped her nose like this as I was coming, and he started to, you know, kick his feet. Right? And again, this is something that they'll do, um, and I guess because I'm not being remote nor monitored at that point or being microwave. So now they're reverting to giving each other signals, whereas before, if I was being microwave, they wouldn't give each other signals. they would know that I'm approaching, particularly if they have their back turned towards me. Um, like in so many occasions where I'm walking behind somebody, they haven't seen me, but all of a sudden they'll start doing these hand signals. Okay, so so that was happening. So I went to pick up my daughter, came back, and the same police officer, the male cop, standing on the wall of the school, and he sees me, and then he turns around and he looks at the on the school wall. There's like two valves or pipes. It might be for gas or what have you, or oil, and they were covered in green. And he literally got off the wall, turned and looked at those two gas pipes, or those two pipes that was colored in green. Okay. Then again, the next person coming towards me, you know, start doing this. Okay. And so, like I said, it never stopped. This is how they do the subliminal messages, because they've conditioned me, and uh, you know, there's nothing I can do about it except, you know, know that what's being done and deal with it in a way that is not counterproductive to my mental state or to my physical being, right? I mean, that's what we have to do at this point. I mean, not at this point, but as a TI, if you have to get to this point, okay, where you know that you're going to continue to be targeted. They continue to do stuff to you. They're going to continue to poison your food. They continue to remote neural monitor you. They continue to microwave you, use directed energy weapons on you. And so what you have to do again is get medical evidence of the damage that they've caused you. And again, learn as much as you can about this program, about this coercive persuasion program. And understand that the people who engage in this type of behavior are part of a cult. And law enforcement is a big part of it. Law enforcement is the enforcers of this program in terms of giving your civilian perps, your neighbors, your coworkers, your friends, uh, negative information about you, okay, and then uh, giving them anonymity in terms of nothing is going to be done to them, right? When they engage in this type of destructive behavior and harassment and stalking behavior towards you, attempted murder, theft, all this stuff, right? So law enforcement is behind it. I'm not all of law enforcement, right? Just those who belong in this cult, and it's usually the highly religious ones. Okay, these people who are on the police force who are part of a religious organization that engage in this type of behavior. Okay, because when you break down what a cult is, right, and when you look at the history of cults, right, it's usually those who have a religious affiliation, right? These types of people that create cults and have followers doing whatever they're being told to do. Okay, so the video I'm gonna actually, before I start this, let me uh, talk about the social cues and what it does to you, because even with the kid's mother, there's a lot of, it's funny because one day she'll be um, very friendly, and then the next day she'll do a lot of the rejection. So I understand the conditioning and what they're trying to do to me through her, right? And again, it's because of websites like this, psychologicalharassment.com, that I'm able to recognize these things and understand it and the reason why they're doing it. Okay, so social cues, which is this subsection here. Rejection hurts and can lower your self-esteem. Rejection hurts, registered as pain by the brain, as mentioned on the home page. The rejection can be used in attempts to harm and also to lower a person's self-esteem or self-worth. And it's interesting because there's another TI on my Facebook page was talking about this stuff. And particularly for women target individuals, you guys have to be extremely careful, okay? Because they will honey trap you with the man of your dreams, okay? And especially if you're a young TI, to get you pregnant or to get you to fall deeply in love with them. And then they'll do things to manipulate you, to damage you emotionally, psychologically, and leave you, okay? All in the hopes that you will commit suicide. Okay, so you got to be very careful of that. For male TIs, it's a little different. They will use honey traps, okay, but it'll be more to set you up to say that you've raped them, or they will give you an STD and claim that you gave it to them. Okay, they will uh, be with you for your TI who's working to just make you spend money. Okay, so that you don't have any money, to do anything else than to spend on them. Okay, so you got to be very careful, male and female target individuals. Okay, so a person's self-esteem can be lowered or increased by conditioning the person to look only at certain social cues, disregard certain social cues, or by changing the meaning of certain social cues. Smiling and laughter, social cues are very important and also have a very positive effect on the brain. A static often used, a tactic often used is to try to condition, associate negativity to the act of smiling and laughter. Social cues like smiling indicates acceptance towards a person. A person can be conditioned to associate negativity, such as a threat or rejection, to a smile. And let me give you an example of this. So, a lot of times when I'm being targeted, I'm being psychologically harassed, a lot of these civilian perpetrators, they'll walk past me, they'll do hand signals, they'll stick their tongue out, stick their fingers in their ears, they'll and they'll do a staring campaign, which they have been doing recently, of staring at my crotch area, okay? And then they will switch it up, they will walk towards me and they'll say hello. They'll walk towards me and they'll smile, okay? They'll nod their head, you know, they'll be like, "How's your day going?" And I don't really talk to them because I already know what it is that they're trying to do, so I don't engage in those type of silly games that they play, because again, it is all to get you to drop your guard or to seem like you're friendly towards them when you're not, because it's a perception that they want to do or associate you with, right? Or to say, look, we haven't damaged this individual because he's saying hello to people that says hello to him, what have you. And again, these people will do whatever it takes to protect themselves. Okay, they will do whatever it takes, okay, to avoid any type of criminal prosecution for the crimes that they've committed against targeted individuals. Okay, and and those people, including your family, friends, your coworkers who have engaged in this type of behavior, they will not come forward and say anything to you. Okay, they're not going to sacrifice their freedom, but they'll sacrifice your freedom. Okay, you have to understand that. And for TIs who are working, uh, when your coworkers come to you for help, if it's not, pertaining to your work, don't help them. They don't help you in any way. They don't help you with your work. They don't help you with your personal life and nothing like that. So you have to change your mentality. Okay. So when it pertains to helping them with work, that's fine. Outside of work, anything else, don't do it because they will not do it for you. Okay. And so I'm tired of hearing TIs talk about how they're fighting the battles for their coworker, but their coworker is not fighting the battles for them. Okay. and the coworker want the TIs to fight their battle, okay? Because they don't want to do it themselves, right? And I should tell you about these people, right? So again, you got to watch out for certain things, okay? All right, a person can be conditioned to associate negativity such as threats or sarcasm and ridicule using the same tactics as described above to laughter. The desired emotion that victims are usually manipulated towards or led to is anger because of its negative health effects instead of laughter. Laughter is associated to joy and acceptance and is also a great stress and threat reducer. Okay, so I'm talking about the smiling, social cue, smiling and acceptance, the opposite of rejection. The simple act of smiling releases endorphins in the brain, and both laughter and smiling are contagious. When you smile at someone, they usually reciprocate with a smile, and this is associated to acceptance and making a connection with someone. It's the opposite of rejection. Smiling also enhances people's view of you and gets you noticed. Now, this doesn't apply to us as TI because we can smile at people, they can smile back at us. It doesn't mean that they accepted us, right? It just means that there is some fake level of acceptance, of friendship, um, of a relationship, because a lot of times these people will not look you in the face because they know what they're doing, and they know they are guilty of what they're doing and what they have done to you. Okay, all right. So let's get to uh, the video, but before that, there was something that I wanted to talk about. Yes, I remember. So remember how I tell you guys how they, they've been using the number 32 as a trigger, right, to an anchor that they placed into my psyche, into my mind, right, into my subconscious. Recently, I started noticing that they've now start using a new uh, trigger. Okay, so lately I've been bombarded with the vehicles that has the first three letters JEA, right? JEA. And I started noticing this for the past week, okay? And I'm like, okay, so what happened that now they're using this JEA, right? Okay. And I was talking to another TI, and I was telling him about it, and he was like, well, JEA might mean this, but I was like, I don't know. I said the only thing that comes to mind when I see that, only thing that pops up in my mind is that I used to have an aunt, and her name was Jean, right? And she died of cancer, and so I started thinking. I said, are they trying to send me a subliminal message that they're going to give me cancer? Because my twin brother, who is a TI, uh, is always talking about how they gave him cancer and all this stuff, right? So, that could also be how they condition him. And the thing is that it just shows you how deep these people dig into your past, that they know your cousins, your second cousins, third cousins, every friend that you've talked to. They will uh, run your past phone records, and match up, numbers that you've called in the past or called you, and they will go to these individuals, right, and use these individuals. And so it goes to show the level of privacy that we as target individual don't have, right? We're our privacy is constantly being violated in the worst way, and so when you start seeing people that look like an ex, and it happens, you know, a lot of times it is not coincidental. It is a scripted, planned event. taking place. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, lately, and even on my block also, which I've never seen those um, that license plate with the JEA. Recently, vehicle starts parking on my block with the JEA in the first three letters of the license plate. Okay, so again, you know, I'm trying to figure out, you know, how they conditioned me to that. Like, how did they get access to me to condition me to that? And it isn't, and I would say, it isn't through me just walking out the street and them, you know, sending me subliminal message. Okay, because in order for you to do the remote neural monitoring, it not remote neural monitoring. I'm sorry, the dark NLP. It takes a while, right? It takes a while before the condition and the programming is built into your psychological state, right, or into your subconscious. And or maybe just me, that I'm starting to recognize the conditioning a lot sooner, right? So I don't know, but I do know that, like I said, the frequency which I started seeing that license plate with the JEA in the beginning of the license plate letters, it had been more frequent lately. Okay, all right. So the video that I'm going to show is, again, them using the police to, you know, harass, and they do it in a very slick way. Like I said, they've changed up their tactic. So this was the opening weekend of, I think it was this was the 27th of April. All right, this was when Avengers Endgame came out, and I took the kids to see the movie. Okay, my oldest son was supposed to come down early because I called him early and I said, "Hey, you need to be here by 9 o'clock." And I called him around 7:20, and he was taking a shower. I said, "Okay, fine, take a shower, get dressed. You have enough time to get here by 9 o'clock." And then at 8:57, he calls me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm waiting for the train." I'm like, "What do you mean you're waiting for the train?" I said, "You're supposed to have been on the train already. You're supposed to be here, almost here." And so I was like, "Okay, well, you know what? You need to stay because you still have work to do." Because he was like, "Well, I got work to do, and I just want to come see the movies, and then I'm going to go back home." I said, "Well, you know what? Don't bother then." So right there, I knew I was in for a heavy dose of targeting. Okay, because there was no reason for him to still be where he's at and calling me at that time to take the train at that time when I spoke to him almost 2 hours earlier. And he had plenty of time to get to me. So we went to watch the Avengers Endgame, and of course, heavy targeting. And then after the movie was over, me and the kids were headed to Alyssa's dance class, and let me just play the video. Let me mute it. And so you guys may not see it, or you might have heard the police sirens, but so on our way, there was a police car that was following me, and he tries to be very slick about it. Okay, and as he approached closer, and he saw that I was, recording, right? Then he slowed down because he didn't want to pass me or even come on the side of me. So he slows down so that way I'll be uh, in front of him, right? Okay, so and there's one point in the video where made a notation about the police following me. Okay, but okay, that's me singing. You guys don't want to hear me singing. But anyway, so we got to about here, the police vehicle turned off. Okay, let's go to the next video. Yeah, I'm skipping past a lot of this stuff because, all right. Trying to remember because this was like 2 weeks ago, so you guys have to excuse me. Um, and I did not look at the entirety of these videos prior to me um, making this video, which I normally would do. So this is the street I usually take to go, especially come from the movies, go back to Pam's house, or if it was on the weekend where it's a dance class, to take her to her dance class. And let me see here. Let's go back. Okay, so this was the first police car. So you see the lights is flashing, it's flashing in red. Okay, no sirens. Okay, let me see if I can. It was a okay, there you go. So let me go back a little bit. Maybe I went back too much. Okay, so the sound is on, and you can hear no sirens, right? Okay, let's go. And then it's gonna be, there we go again. So, right? So this is about, again, another maybe two to 4 blocks up as I was driving, direction I was driving. See the other police car, again, lights flashing in red. Sirens is off. Okay, let's go. There's more. Okay, that's pass. Okay, that's again. Okay, and here you go again. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. I might have missed one more, but they were okay. All right, so here's another police car that's turning. See, his lights is off, right? I forgot to mention that police vehicle that was following us as we left the movie theater. His lights was flashing red, also. And you see the police vehicle that turned. Not all, like I said, not all police officers participate in my targeting, but there are those that definitely participate in my targeting, and they'll recruit new police officers to aggressively target me, right? Okay. Now, right there again, just the lights, red lights flashing. Now, I was supposed to turn down, make the left here, but I want to see if I can get parking on Pam's block. Then I take, uh, this the dance class, which I end up not getting parking, and I have to park somewhere else. Actually, I did make the turn, so I did. Okay. Okay. All right. So now drop listen to actually she didn't go to dance class because when we got there it was late, so we stayed in the park in the schoolyard, let them play for a little bit, and now got back in the car and we're heading back to my house again. Here I am taking the same street, Linden Boulevard. Okay, and guess what's coming towards me? But another police vehicle. Okay, uh, with the lights flashing, but again, you're not going to hear any sirens. Okay, so again, this is, you know, I guess since they make so much noise with the noise campaign, what they'll do, particularly the police, they'll just, have their lights flashing with no sirens. Um, you know, as if I'm approaching or if they're behind me or if I'm walking, they'll do the same thing, right? They'll turn on their lights. Okay, and then they'll follow it up with an unmarked police vehicle. Okay, all right. So I think this is the Sunday where I'm taking the kids back to Pam after spending a week with me because they had, you know, like a spring break. Okay, and so I need to go back just slightly. All right. So now what you're going to see here is again the use of the number 32 in the license plate. But again, this is the homeless theme that they're running, and you guys will see why as I will explain it to you, right? So again, you'll see the vehicle in front of me. There's a van, all right? Now you can't make it out as of yet, okay? You'll see it is a police van, right? And it's the van. You see the number 32 in the license plate, okay? And the these vans, all right, are usually vans that are you'll see like in front of homeless shelters and stuff like that. on the side of the van, it'll say homeless the division or something like that. But again, they will use, this is just another uh, subliminal way in which they'll send me about homelessness and stuff like that. Because again, they love to use the homeless theme. This is one of the themes that they'll use, and I'll show you guys in the description of what is a coercive persuasion program, and that the threat of homelessness, the threat of mental illness, the threat of physical health, the threat of institutionalized incarceration, stuff like that. This is what they do. Okay. All right. So let's get to the next video. I'm trying to keep this video short as compared to my previous videos. They've been pretty long. All right. So let's see here. I'm not really going to focus on a lot of stuff, but because again, I just want to go through these videos as quickly as I can. All right, so this is the Monday morning. The kids going back to school, dropping them off to school. Okay, and you'll see the theme play out here, the street theater. Okay. Okay, that's me. Okay, so you see the guy right here. Again, let me play this over. Okay, so she stays, the woman in the gray. Let me pause this because you guys need to see. And this is the synchronization, right? This is the microwave at work, the mind control weapon at work right now. So if you look to the right, you'll see a woman standing there with she has on a gray jacket. Okay, she had dropped her kids to school, right? And she stood there. Now she turns around, he's going to come out of his car, right? Now look at this woman here. As she walks into the street, she's going to come directly in front of the vehicle. Okay, and see how she looks. Now she's looking at me, right? Get my attention. Now keep looking to the right. So the guy comes out here, starts doing the hand signal. Okay, let's go back again. You'll see him cover. Okay, okay, all right. So here he comes. All right. See, cover his face, cover his mouth, and all right. So let's go get to the intersection. You see the repeated uh, street there, the hand signal. Girl across the street. She starts playing with her hair, covering her mouth now. She did it again. Okay, let's move to the next video. So I had to go to the kids' school. This was the afternoon, the same afternoon. Um, I had to go and sign a sheet for Ethan so he can uh, get into another after-school program, which is the science after-school program. And while I was there, now when I walked to the school, this police van wasn't there. Now the school had let out. This was already around a little after 3. There was no students from the high school or from my son's elementary school. And when I was walking, there was no police car there. But when I was in the office talking to the school administrators to fill out the form, I kept hearing all these police sirens. I'm like, okay. So I step aside, and on the way back home, you'll see now when I came into view to where they can see me, they start doing these hand signals. Okay, you're talking about the police officers in the car, right? Okay, and then as I got close, see, you hear me, sir? As I'm getting closer, he takes his phone out, right? And to show me. Okay, so now you'll see both of them sitting in their car, just staring at their phones. All right, sweetie. I'll be finished soon. That's my daughter. Okay. And so again, this is something that they do, and so I continue walking. I had the phone in my hand, and I think I accidentally hit the record button because I did not know my phone was recorded. Okay, and so you'll see again, they'll use teenagers. So you see these teenagers standing around. Now watch what happened when I walking past them. You'll see the other teenager who was on the other side. He comes and he's right there and like walk directly in front of me, okay, to cause a confrontation. Right now, I guess they figure, I'm angry or mad, and I'll just knock his behind down. But again, this is the type of stuff that they do, right? They'll cut across in front of you the minute that you're almost passing them. They will walk directly in front of you to where you'll either bump into them or they'll bump into you. And this is a tactic, and I've talked about this before, of how they'll walk down the street, bump into you, turn around and say sorry. And it happens so frequently. But this is the type of stuff that they do. And they use, again, like I said in my other videos, they've been using a lot of teenagers previously, and they still do. In my targeting. And this is one of the things that they do with these teenagers. Now, like I said, I did not even know that my phone was recording. Like I said, I might have, the way I was holding the phone, it might have hit the button accidentally. So you'll see again, no teenagers. And so now you'll see another teen as he walks to turn the corner, sticks his tongue out at me. You see that? Okay. You guys look at his mouth, you'll see his tongue sticking out. And they do it in a very subtle way, when they see you. And so now puts his hands to cover his mouth with his thumb sticking out. Okay. And so now you see another purple over here. And as I approach the corner, he'll stand in there, then he turns and he walks away. All right. Now, see this woman over here? Okay. All of a sudden, she put her thumb against her neck. Okay. She did this. All right. So we're gonna let's see if we can go back and just pause it to where she walks by. It's gonna be very quick. Missed it. Let's go back. Okay. So there she is. Okay. And to let you guys see, the use of teenagers, the use of elderly people, the use of young people, middle-aged people. It doesn't matter. Muslim, Jews, black, whites, Asians. It's a super cult, right? A super cult, and the use of multi-ethnic groups to participate in the psychological warfare against targeted individuals. Okay, so let's go to the next video. And so now, okay, because you remember the videos two videos that I showed was me heading back home because I had to go and sign the consent form for Ethan to join the science after school program. So now I'm heading back to pick up Ethan and Alyssa because Alyssa also had after school. And again, you'll see the synchronization as I walk into the corner. I saw the police car, and I didn't have time to take up my phone to record it because it happened so quickly. So what I had to do is that you'll see me walking in between the cars to get into the street so I can record them. So there you see me turn right there as I took up my phone and to record them, right? So this is the synchronization all over again. And what will happen is that when I leave the apartment building, there'll be a police car passing by, or as I'm walking towards the corner, there'll be a police car driving by, right? And again, because it happened frequently, it is not a coincidence. It is because they are tracking me, okay? Okay, and then because again they didn't see me, right? Because I had walked towards the car and turned, and you'll see the police officer looks back. Okay, let's see if I can. You can't really. Okay, all right, let's go. So he turned. See, look right there. If you guys see that. Okay, I want to pause it so you guys can see. So you'll see right here his head is turned. So now he sees me recording, right? And I'm recording now as I get closer. Watch, he turns his head. See how he turns his head? Because again, he did not want me to get him on video. Okay? Cowardice. Cowardice. And look, he still turned his head because they know that I'm videotaping. These people think that they're slick. But again, getting them on video, exposing everything that they're doing, and they very well know that they are tracking me. Hence the reason when he didn't see me, okay, he turned, and you saw how far I was from him. He turned to look directly at me. And when he knew that I was recording, because I had the phone out, as I got close to the police car, he turned his head as if he was talking to his partner. Okay? And when I continued, you still see him, he had turned his head. He had turned his head, okay? Now, again, there's going to always be a follow-up. So the civilian person in the street now, so then here's this guy in this army fatigue jacket. As I approach him, he bows his head. Okay? Because, I mean, it's not a him, it's a her. Because, again, they know they got caught. And I got on video. Okay? So now she does this. Okay? Look at that look on her face. They're mad because they got caught. Okay? So now they start to do the synchronized movement. She starts to move the one with the phone in her hair. As I get closer, this one walks out of the barber shop. Okay? And now she's gonna move. Now this one here puts her hands over her mouth as this guy passed by. Now you're gonna hear him coughing. Okay? Alright, let's go to the next video. And so now this is the next morning. Dropped the kids off to school. I didn't drive. And again, you'll see she's doing this. The minute she sees me, she starts doing that. Okay? All right. So last week, Wednesday, I had to go to a college to. I was trying to see if I can get into this IT program. Right, it's a free program, and this was. I had to go there to for an orientation and also to take an assessment exam. Okay. Now, as I went to the front desk, they gave me the application to fill out, and I sat down to fill out the application. About 2 to 3 minutes after I sat down, they sent a perk. Okay, because again, uh, when you're under surveillance, they know exactly where you're going, and so they will find people who are going to those colleges. And trust me, when I say every facet of society has been infiltrated with these people, I really mean that. And if you're a TI, you know that. Okay, so because it didn't take long, even the security guards of the building, because I went to BMCC, Borough Manhattan Community College, uh, even the security guards at the downstairs at the lobby was targeting me. Okay, and so you'll see what happened, that this young woman came and she just stood up right in front of me. Okay, I mean not right in front of me, but she was good distance. But for some reason, she just decided she's going to stop in the middle of the hallway right there to stand in front of me, open up her folder, and start looking at it. Right then, when she sees me take out my phone, and that's to tell you how she was looking at me, right? Because the minute I took out my phone to start recording her, she moves and she moves out of view. Okay, and so you'll see me turn the camera, and then she stands right there. Okay, and then eventually she leaves. Now, all the other time that for the rest of the time that I sat there filling out the application, no other person did that. She was the only one. So of course, went out to lunch, police vehicle parked in front of the school. you know, came back, police officer out of the vehicle, with his hands on his um, either on his waist or on his side arm. I can't remember, but it's just so funny, you know. And but this is again, it's just to be expected because you're under surveillance if you're a TI and they know wherever you go. So here now, this is the next morning. This was Thursday morning, and here they have a homeless guy. Okay, and again they've been running the homeless theme, and so he was across the street as me and the kids exit out the building and we were walking to the store. Now, how did they know we were going to the store? Okay, because he was on the opposite side of this street, but in the direction which we were headed, right? So now, because my daughter had a trip, right? She had a school trip, so we went to the store to get her a sandwich, her and Ethan a sandwich. So he was across the street, okay, standing there. When we didn't cross over, he crossed over, and he started walking in the direction that we're walking. Then he stops and he turns around, okay? And that was when I took my phone and started recording, okay? You know, I'm telling you, these people are probably not even getting paid much money. You can see he had a beer in his hand, and this was like around 8 in the morning. Okay, this is around 8 in the morning. He's standing outside on the opposite side of the street, had a beer in his hand. When we didn't cross over the street, he crossed over on our side, started walking in the direction that I was walking. Me and the kids were walking. He stops, he turns around, and he opens up the beer in his hand. Okay, and you'll see him here. And you see how he has his face down. Okay, because again, when you start recording them, right, they go into this self pity, self shame look that they do, that they have. And guess what? See the police vehicle at the end of the block, right? Okay. So again, when I talk about police involved in the target and the police harassment, how the civilian population, the civilian perp population, the cult members working in tandem with the police, with you know, these criminal officers with badges who call themselves police, who masquerade as law enforcement officers, but they're really a criminal entity. This is what they do. Okay, this is sending subliminal messages, but then they may not be the one themselves doing it, but their presence are right there, and they'll let the civilian perps do the hand signals, the subliminals. A lot of the times, they, like I said, they won't do it themselves, but they'll have the civilians do it. But you'll see their presence, whether it be a police car that's parked up, or police officers following behind them, or police car driving, And as they drive, the civilian perpetrator will stick his finger in his ears or pinch his nose like this. And they've been doing this a lot lately, pinching their nose. And, then coming home to Pam house, or they target you, having Pam target me with these very subtle targeting now, instead of it being more aggressive and overtly, is very subtle underneath the radar. But I pick up on it because, like I said, I've been studying this program. Okay, not just being a victim of it, but studying it to navigate my way through it, and to also explain to others so that they know exactly what's going on. So this is, again, this is all planned, scripted event, and they will set up accidents, incidents to where their presence are there, but it's all stage. Okay, and so you got to remember that when we talk about street theater, we talk about stage events, and a lot of time it involves the police, uh, members of the criminal members of the police departments or the police force who are in these religious cults, um, that participate in this. Okay. Okay, so that's it for the video. I hope this wasn't too long. I was trying to make it shorter, but there's stuff that needed to be covered and to show. But like I said, even if I don't do a video, I'm still being targeted. They don't want me to do the video because, again, they don't want me to expose the continuing harassment. Okay, and like I said, I've been laying back, observing, studying, because they've been targeting me a little differently now. So I have to get my thoughts together to try and understand what it is that they're doing, right, before I start to make another video. And just the observance, it's important, because they will sometimes, stop using the regular tactics when they see that you're not, um, when it's not working, right, or not in the way that they intended. And so they will develop new ways and try to condition you in new ways. And so being able to pick up on those conditioning factors and expose it before it gets to a point where you're deeply affected by it. Okay, because, again, without realizing what's being done to you. But like I said, you can always realize and pick up on it when you see the repetition of things. Okay, that's what you got. That's the clue you got to look for. When things are being repeated, and the frequency of which is being repeated, then you know that you're being psychologically conditioned through a process that undermines your ability to think critically, to make decisions that will uh, positively impact your life, because it's all based on negativity, right? And them conditioning you negatively to uh, do negative acts, to think negatively, to uh, destroy your life, and to make it look like you're the sole reason why your life has been destroyed, when it wasn't. There was an external factor that is doing these things, but it's being done psychologically. Okay, so that's it for the video. I'll see you guys on the next one.